You guys, hello. Hi there. My name is Chris Farrow. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where right now I am going to talk about 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days Season 4. Also, probably talk about what's happening in this world right now because things are connected. Thank you so much for people already in the room, people already giving likes. I love you guys so much. Just turning that light on in the room, honey. Just like flip, like dee 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 dee. Okay, I'm here. Letting me know you guys are here. Hello. I'm so happy to see you, Lindsay. Yes, moderators already in the room. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here because I'm bored. And I'm someone who's lazy and likes to hibernate. And this is okay. So this is hi. Thank you so much, Akila, for that beautiful super chat. That means a lot. I really appreciate you. Oh, you're all in the room. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so happy you guys are here. So yeah, I'll get into talk about these couples, for sure, because that's what we're all here for. But oh, thank you so much, y'all. Thank you for these super chats. I see you, Fee 1215. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're all staying home, huh? I should be doing lives every day. I should be doing lives every day because what else are we going to do right now? Yeah, people, you can go on Duolingo and learn a new language, like Mickey said. I think I'm going to really try to buckle down and get this French underneath my belt. But okay, so what a crazy time we're living in. I don't know how this is happening. This is unprecedented for me. I know that in other countries, there's been rations and shortages and wars. And so just to be stuck up in my house is not as big of a deal. But still, I just have never experienced this and to the degree that it's happening. And it's quite jarring. And I think I'm toggling, I keep saying this, I'm toggling in between feeling anxiety and then just also a real radical acceptance of okay, this is what it is, I guess. Before this was happening, I had my birthday, and then I was also working on bringing back, which I am, bringing back a character show that I haven't done for 5 years. I'm a bio queen, and I do a character named Fiance, who is a drag queen as a female, who's based on the song Fancy by Bobby Gentry and made famous by Reba McEntire. So she's a very kind of tongue-in-cheek little whore with a heart of gold. Anyway, so I was planning on doing her this summer for the Fringe Festival here in Los Angeles, and then it's just been so bananas with this COVID-19 that I kind of just was wondering what the hell I'm going to do. And that's just one little project. And, the way that this is affecting millions of people is much more intense. People are out of work. Hopefully we'll be getting some money to them through the government and some, breaks in rent or taxes. I'm quite lucky. I'm just hanging out at my dad's house. I love my dad. My dad works with people's money. He's a portfolio manager of people's stocks and things. And if you follow the financial market, it is not doing well, not doing the best. So just trying to be here for them and him. And also a weird back to basics where I'm cooking a lot and, just trying to obviously wash everything and keep everything sanitized. And, I've never washed my hands more and just using a lot of lotion so I don't get eczema. I mean, it's just all a thing. But those are not the biggest problems with just learning. But I've been cooking a lot and that feels good. But if you're listening to this and you are under dire straits or financial straits, I want you to know that my heart is with you. And I'm hoping that the government can hand out some money to people and get us over this crazy hump. And I'm hoping that everyone is taking the social distancing really seriously so we can, quote unquote, flatten the curve and not have a rush of hospitals where people have to wait for medical treatment, or worse, they have to decide who gets medical treatment, so people are saying they still have toilet paper. That's good. The so funny thing is, I came down to my dad's house and I like brought so much food and I was like ready to go. And he just kept saying, I have toilet paper. And I didn't realize that he, like, before this all happened, had just like stocked up at Costco. So we have like a lot of toilet paper. We have a lot of paper towels. We have a lot of hand sanitizer. I mean, just like the biggest amounts. I can't even believe it. It's just the two of us. But we are stocked. So, but my dad is like an older gentleman with a compromised immune system. So I want to make sure that I'm staying super healthy and disease free so that I can be around him and that he is, of course, as well. And I wish the same for all of you and your loved ones. Okay, let's talk about this show, shall we? Let's get into these couples. Just wanted to address all that. My thoughts and prayers are with you all and your families. Enjoy this time together. Okay, let's go through Stephanie. Let's go to Stephanie and Erica. So Stephanie, 29, lives in Yonkers, and Erica lives in Australia. Stephanie is from Eastern Europe, and she came here when she was a young little girl with her mom, and she's super beautiful. Her mom seems super beautiful and nice, and just like brings her like all of the dumplings. Oh, Candy, thank you. Thank you, honey. Brings her all the dumplings all of the time. Brings a bunch of food to her house, and like they used to live really close, and now they live an hour away. And her mom was like already not into that. And I get this, like single mom, like she's married now, but like only child. Like they're two women, they're super close, and somehow Stephanie has like not told her mom that Stephanie is bisexual. Which, I mean, by somehow, I mean, I get it. Stephanie feels like her mom would have a bad reaction. But I'm always like, oh, these two people are so close. I wonder if like her mom already knows, like through mother's intuition and you guys being super close. Like, I think about, so another hilarious thing is that Stephanie is a YouTube creator. She does, I haven't gone to her channel yet, but I'm sure you guys have. One of you guys have. You could talk about it. If you talk about it in the comments, I'll be really interested. So Stephanie has a YouTube channel where she does like whatever she wants. Like it seems to be like, here's a fashion show of dog clothes. And I'm sure there's a lot of like vlogs of her talking about her life. And I wonder if her mom just doesn't watch any of those. Like if she's bisexual, has she never talked about that on her YouTube channel? Or does she do it a lot and her mom just like doesn't watch it? I don't know. These are interesting things to me. So she's bi, which is chill, and of course, and she, I guess, just like got hit up by Erica. Sorry, I keep looking at their names because whatever. And Erica, like on Instagram, by the way, like, does she have her extensions in? No, she does not. So this is like real hair, bed hair, and also like I haven't worn makeup in like a week. I haven't worn makeup since my birthday. So like and I like don't have all my makeup at my dad's house. So like now I'm looking at what I did. It's not the best. So Erica was just like a person that like saw her YouTube videos and like went on Instagram and like sent her a DM, and then they just like she started talking, and then like the talking came, like got into like loving. And Erica's super cute, very funky hair, like loves like a two-toned, like pink, blue, or whatever. Like I'm always just like, how do they do it so perfectly? It's just you just like part the whole thing and just like put a bunch of pink and you just like make sure that the doesn't get on the other side. I don't know, like it's meticulous though. Very funky girl, likes a colorful fashion, kind of like Rainbow Brighty, probably was like real into her. So okay, so another thing about Stephanie is that she has this like bananas autoimmune disease where it's like she has like I don't know if so sorry is what it's called. It's like something crazy long, but it's like something with her bone marrow has failed. And so she can get diseases really easily. Like her immune system isn't like good at fighting things off. And so she could potentially die, like, from things. Um, I just like okay, so this is what it is. So she hasn't told her mom. She's in love with Erica. She wants to go visit Erica in Australia. She has this crazy immune disorder, which she like can get sick from anything. Like, like what a smart move, by the way, to become a YouTube creator because she's gonna stay in her home. By the way, like side note is I mean, this is the time, by the way, to start your YouTube channel in the time we're living in now. We're talking coronavirus time because like everyone's at home. I don't know why I'm not going live more often. I really should. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of you. I don't like you. Goodbye. Um, so okay, she has her mom over and you think that like maybe this is the time for her to like come out and like about being gay and like it's bananas because like her mom is just sitting there and she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go visit my friend in Australia and see what happens. Maybe she'll come out here. The mom's like, okay, but why? And she's like, I just want to. And, it's just like, I just feel like the mom is like baiting her and being like, just tell me you're gay. Like, I don't know. Really can't do an accent like that. I don't, like Stephanie seems like a nice girl or whatever, but like, I'm like not super interested in this one yet because I don't know. It just seems a little like, I don't know why it's not compelling yet for me. There's like not enough drama. Like, I almost wish that she had told her mom and that either her mom was like, I'm going to come with you then, I want to keep you safe. Like that. I always want to say like her mom and her go to Australia or something like that. Or, like she didn't tell her mom, but her mom wants to come. So now she has to like bring her mom around Erica. The other thing is like she's afraid that Erica will be mad that she hasn't come clean to her mom. And like I want to see that play out. Yeah. You like are super into me or whatever, and like you think that like we have a future, you're not gonna even tell your mom. We've seen how that plays out, Marcel. It's not a good one. Dad, if you want to come say hi, feel free. Um, no. Guess not. I keep thinking my door's gonna open. I'll be like, but okay. Yeah, I just feel like she needs to pick something up. Something needs to happen. Though I can like want to watch her like eat her like mom's food all day long. Anyway, so like, yeah, she's just like at the airport. We see her like, I think this is a slow moving couple. So she's at the airport and we like see her like sort of cry about like how happy she is to like meet her. But like, I don't know. And now I feel like things seem fake a little bit. Sometimes when I'm just like, oh, you're a YouTube creator. Oh, you're a musician. How very convenient for you to be on this show. I mean, think of the spike. How many followers has she gotten like since this? I also want to say that I think this couple has been like promoting themselves on Instagram since before the season started using the 90-day hashtag. I remember a specific post, I can't remember if it's Erica or Stephanie's, that were like posting with the hashtag 90-day fiance. And then people like in their comments were like, who are you? And they were like, we're going to be on the new season. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay. She's had to have a huge spike in subscribers. I'm not saying that she didn't have a lot of subscribers before, but she like basically like films like whatever she wants in her home. And I just don't even know if like those dogs are that interesting. Okay, so let's move on to another kind of like newish couple that were like not newish, but we got introduced later in Lon and Life, which is um David and Lana. Okay, so David lives in Nevada and Lana is Eastern European. David has 60 years old, honey, and he's done well for himself. And he lives with cats. That's fine. And he has like the fluffiest hair I've ever seen. I mean, that hair is fluffy. It's like, it's fluffier than my hair. It's like, I always think it's so interesting when like guys' hair, like just how is it so fluffy? Does he use a dry shampoo? Like it just like, I feel like it's so big. I want fluffy hair. This kind of look better. This is like I'm like a little like This feels like a 90s or like rocker girl. Or like not 90s, maybe like 80s like hair band chick. Just like I'm not wearing a bathing suit. I've been wearing the same pajamas that I've been wearing for 2 days. Hi. I know from Nordstrom's. Okay. So he met Lana 7 years ago on a website. Okay. And Lana in his description is out of her league, out of his league. Lana's like, you know, young looking, a lot of filters, like she's not as hot as Caesar's Maria, but or Anfisa, she's kind of, well, we'll see, but like seems a little in the middle, kind of like in between Maria and Darcy. Um, so another whole thing is on this specific site that he talks to her, the chat is he has to pay for the chat per minute, like a phone sex line. And it's even more expensive if you want a video chat. And she won't let him talk to her any other way. They have not made it to like texting or emailing. Like there's no like free WhatsApp talking. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like only through the site that he has to pay, charge by the minute for. And they have tried to meet up previously like 3 times and she's bailed 3 times. Like once because her, I don't know, brother passed away and once because of surgery and God bless and who knows. He's spent thousands of dollars talking to her. And he likes to say that's fine because if they were dating in real life, he would have spent that money. And then quickly he's like, I mean, I guess I would have gotten some physical intimacy as well, but that's fine. You know, David seems a little asexual a little bit. Maybe physical intimacy, physical closeness might be a little offsetting for him. This is like my intuitive feeling. Another whole thing, which is ridiculous, is that he wants to sell his home and buy a luxury camper trailer, van, RV. That's what the word is, RV, for them to tour and live in. And I mean, it's like almost $400,000. It's like basically a house, not in LA, but definitely in Nevada. And it's always so interesting to me, like, does she want that life? Do you think this woman wants that life? I don't think van life is for everyone. And like when you see a woman that looks like that, you can't like suppose that that woman is gonna want van life. Sometimes side note is like I'm on dating websites and guys will like hashtag van life and I'm like, no offense, I immediately say no. Van life is not for me. Van life means a whole bunch of things about you. You don't want commitments. You don't crave a stability. Like you are quirky in some way. You want to be off the grid. Like you don't seek modern comforts. Like there's no sense of like family in van life because you can't fit a family in van life. You can't have a lot of people over for van life. You're sort of at the mercy of parking restrictions. I mean, I don't know if you can come for me for this, but like van life is not for me. And like, I don't get it. Van life feels like you're 22 and you just like want to explore America. I mean, sure, that makes sense to me. I guess also his case, he's retired and van life speaks to him, but she's not. She's much younger. Anyway, just always interesting how like they think that's going to play out. And we're going to get into this because this also kind of reminds, so that's what really them. So like another thing that happens is that I want to talk about is David has been for his whole life obsessed with like the Eastern European accent based upon Rocky and Bullwinkle, like Natasha. And it's like, I mean, there are fetishes out there. And I think the Eastern European accent is really an interesting one for females. And it's like, love the fact that he is like turned on by it. He's always been obsessed with it to the point that he has like gone to I think it's Ukraine. I don't know if it's Ukraine or not. gone there before, met some other nice lady who was like too mousy for him, and they become friends. Like he surrounds himself by women who has his accent. And then there's this other woman that met his friend, and he has dinner with them to talk about Lana. Can't remember her name. And that woman is like, oh, Lana's fake. Lana's just some gold digger. If you're not married by 25 back there, you're a gold digger. And he's like, but you were on that site, or not that site. You were on a site. And she's like, I'm different. I'm normal. I just still talk like this. I just wonder if he, like, the whole time he's hearing her talk, like, is he just like, is that table about to like move up? You know, and he's just like real turned on. I know I said he's asexual, but also maybe he's like a little bit of a freak. To me, if he went to that country and he found a woman that was too mousy, then I also feel like he really wants like a dominating woman. He wants to be like dominated. Maybe he's just like a real big submissive. We can talk about his sexual proclivities. Just the Rocky and Bullwinkle thing was just hilarious to me. It's also like so old that I'm just like, oh yeah. You're just like, it's like also such a hard accent. I feel like if he ever did he watch the season with Maria and Caesar? Was he just like, oh, Maria is the most amazing woman? You know, I don't know. I think that's funny. Oh yeah, we can talk about Mickey's talking about his unicycle. What? So yeah, the other thing is that in order to get the van life, he has to like sell his home. And then he opens a garage. He's like, I have to sell all this too. And when he opens the garage of all the things he has to sell that's supposed to make up $400,000, it's boxes. And the only thing you really can see are two unicycles. He's like, but not those unicycles. I don't understand what he thinks he's gonna sell. It looked like some like old fishing rods. I don't even know what it looked like. And two unicycles, and it gets on the unicycle, and you know, he's not bad. He has to use his arms, he says, to balance, but like I would have to like not. I mean, I'd have to like get me some training wheels for a unicycle. I can't imagine. And I do a lot of yoga. Was he in the circus? What is his life like? I need to see more of the inside of his home. And why is his hair so fluffy? Okay, so um is he gonna have a garage sale? I mean, like, if he sold those things in his garage, he'd make negative $3 because he'd have to pay someone to take away stuff. There is no way you are going to sell the contents of that garage and make enough money for that Lux van. Which, I mean, I don't know. Oh, Mickey, if you wanted two unicycles, why make it a bicycle? Great point. Great point. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, okay, so the other thing I forgot because I like want to get off the subject, but like the other thing is that he's talking to Lana, right? And he's like, okay, like we're gonna see each other soon, like can't wait. And he's like, so like what train are you gonna be on? And she's like, I don't know. And he had asked her like previously, and she's like, I don't know. I didn't get time to look, and now I'm at work, and now I can't look. He's like, okay, okay, this is my questions. Did she go to the train station and buy a physical ticket, or you did so online? If you did so online, it's in your email. And who goes and gets physical tickets now? I feel like you would just okay, I'm not quite sure. Actually, I don't know how life works, but I'm pretty sure that like if I was taking a train, I would, and I just say it was if I was taking a train and had to buy my tickets at the train station. I guess I would have like I would still know either because I'm used to taking trains and that's my life, or I took a picture on my phone, or I knew this person had to meet me, or it's in my email because I like did it online. Everything is suspect with her. There's just no way, right? Like it was confusing at first because it made it seem like he had never seen Lana, like if the chat had only happened through the website, like chat room wise. And especially when his like real Eastern European friend that lives in America, not the younger one, was like, "You've only been talking to a computer," but like, no, they actually have FaceTime before, like through this app or whatever. So like, we do see her, which is crazy, and so we know that she exists. Now, I'm not saying he's talking to her all the time, but like either a model for this side or something like that. I mean, I'm not quite sure. It seems like he has talked to her, but also like her profile is still on the site. So like if they've been in a relationship this whole time, like she's out looking for new peeps. Her profile is live. If I had a boyfriend that I met through, let's just say Bumble or Hinge or League or something, we wouldn't just always be talking through that app. At some point, if we were boyfriend and girlfriend, we'd both be off that app. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't see my profile there anymore. Okay. So let's talk. So I want to talk about Ed and Rosemary. Let's get into a good couple. Okay, so Ed, as Big Ed, who's not big, and Rosemary lives in the Philippines, and Ed, lives in I forgot where, and I think San Diego or something like that. Okay, so we've seen him in his life. We know the following things, like his mom feels like he shouldn't do it, his daughter feels like he shouldn't do it. Like his like assistant who like he I think Loki has a crush on. Kara maybe like feels like he shouldn't be doing this. And he has gotten an email from Rosemary's sister who lives with Rosemary and saying that her shop, which is like the front of their house, their living unit, is that like the front is the store and the back is their apartment. And she's in dire financial straits. And she's like, don't tell Rosemary that I'm doing this, but like I need money. You need to give me money. And he's like, no, like I want to meet you first. She's like, no, don't have time for that. I need it right now. And he's like, no, I'll meet you. I'll be there soon. So he also, we realize, is supposed to be like a germaphobe, right? Like, and he like is following the ways of Paul Paul and Karini, because like twofold, he is a germaphobe and he is wanting her to get an STD test. Now I'm going to be super honest. They're making it seem like in order to have sex with someone, like if you have to ask for an STD test, like that's weird. Like they make it seem like, oh no, like how would you do that to someone? And like I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's not a bad thing. I think it's not a bad thing. I mean, I get it that yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to like ask for someone before you're intimate to get an STD test. Do you guys think that? Is it like supposed to be shocking because it's the guy asking? I mean, is it supposed to be like shocking because the guy's asking for the STD test and therefore we're supposed to believe that he doesn't trust the woman and he thinks that she's a whore? Or not a whore, maybe it's like sexually promiscuous, or from a culture that disease might be like, is he like being racist by thinking that disease runs rampant? I'll be honest, like I want my American boy men to like get STD tests. I'm not saying I've always played by those rules, but to the age I am now, yeah. So anyway, and this what I'm about to say and that annoyed me, it was brought up in Vanity Fair in my Facebook group. Hi. And I thought, but when I watched it, I thought of it too. So he is like worried about germs, blah, blah, blue. He goes to the airport. He like lands. Now, 90 Day Fiance loves a like person that lands and gets to the airport and then is like, oh, wait, where is she? And then like has to wait. And it's like a big like, da, 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 da. She's not going to show up. And they like show him getting there and landing and that happening. And I'll get to my point in a second. But then 24 hours, it does this 24 hours before, it shows like her life, Rosemary's life, which is just like playing with their kid. They sleep on a mattress on the floor, like in the house is also her sister and her sister's kids. And it is rural, like they don't have a lot of the modern comforts that we might expect or are used to, not expect from the Philippines, but are used to ourselves. Which is a whole other thing, by the way, going back to what's happening right now, like all of our like COVID-19 problems of like, I mean, I'm still like on a feather mattress bed right now. Just like I can't believe how lucky I am when I see how other people live. And even me complaining about van life. I wonder, like Rosemary be like, give me that fucking van. I'd love to live in that van, that luxury van. It's like $400,000. The one that I don't know his name, David. David wanted to buy. I'm jumping around. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so she lives in a impoverished situation, and but she's making eggs for her son, and her son seems super cute. Her sister just seems a little older, like she's lived a life. She has a face and two eyes that like makes me feel like she's seen like horrible things or has like lived through it. You know what I'm saying? They have a shop. After we know about this thing about how his sister asked him for money, and then when we get to this shop, we're like, she needs that money. Give her that money. Okay, so that's her life. Then she somehow takes a taxi from. I wonder how expensive the taxi was to go to the airport to pick up Ed. It's like the first time in a taxi, whatever. Rosemary. So then it's like again, dun 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 dun. Is Rosemary gonna show up? He's just like in the like lobby area of the airport, like waiting with his like very high knee socks. Like, did he do that for like germ purposes? Like pull those like baseball socks or whatever it is all the way up? Is that like part of his ensemble, or whatever? But God bless. She shows up. She's there because, she's a little bit late because of traffic and she sees him for the first time. And like this woman is like, "You're so short." I mean, she like can't stop saying how short he is. And he's just like, "Are you attracted to me?" And she's like, "You're so short," and he's just like, who are all these people saying Pila? What's Pila? Oh, are people just like spamming? Let's get rid of these people. Sorry. Moderators, I need help. Sorry, I'm taking time to get rid of all these people. Am I getting? This is like the craziest thing. Am I getting spammed by people in my? Okay, okay. I love you guys. So sorry. If you are rewatching this after this live, just know that like for some reason all of these people came into the chat room and started like spamming, and I had to like go to work, honey. Okay. So he gets Rosemary picks him up. It's obvious that she's like, "You're shorter than me. I thought we were at least the same height." And he's like, "No, I lied about that. Hi, are you attracted to me?" And she's like, "I don't know." And he's like, God bless. Ooh, it's intense. So they get to the hotel, and like she is the first time that like she's seen. Oh, another super chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm gonna do lives every day now. Um, Danny DeVito and the Penguin in Batman. He absolutely is. So, oh my god, it's a nightmare. So, am I? Okay, so these they go to the hotel. It's like a beautiful hotel, and she's like never been in a hotel before, and like they get a room, and he's asked for two beds, because God bless. And then, by the way, is I just realized this, Quasi, why are you not a moderator? And I'm making you a moderator right now. I need help. Okay. Okay. So these oh, so you know what, Quasi, is because your Mickey thing is. Okay. I'm sorry, I love you. I just again, these like trolls made me crazy. And now I'm just like she you know what, Quasi was a mod on I think her Mickey website. I mean her Mickey channel. I mean her Mickey whatever. Help me. Okay. Like I did my hair now. I'm just like living my life. It's a little greasy. Okay, so go to the hotel, get checked in the hotel room. Supposed to be two beds. It's two beds put together. And then he's like, I don't want to have sex with you. And she's like, whew, God bless. And in his mind's like, because I want that STD test. And she's like, thank God, I'm not into it. But I think that she would have just like had to do whatever. I think that she in her mind would have done whatever it was. She's like, let's get in those PJs, PJ time. And she's like, I don't have PJs. And he feels bad. He gives her a shirt. And then here's the crux of it. Here's the part that's so crazy. He gets off that long ass flight where that bigger man, can you imagine the smells and everything about what was happening to him on that flight? The sweat, just from like the tension and the anxiety and everything. And then he does not take a shower. Because when he comes back out to go to bed, the hair is as dry as can be. Just dry, yeah. I'll never get that. Why you didn't just like immediately change into, why don't you like take a shower down with Purell and then just like change it? Which is like that. I mean, that's what we're doing right now in life, but that's like usually our COVID life right now is definitely how I deal with the airport business. Like every time I go into an airport, I come out and shower and just like wash myself down with like Hibicleans and like I don't sit in my bed in my like airport clothes. It's just like teeming with bacteria. You know how gross planes are? That's why everyone's not going on planes right now. That's another thing about this COVID thing is I'm hoping that planes now are like required to like wipe down seats with antibacterial wipes before they get new people on. I mean, I feel bad to say that, but it's like, let's do it. I know flight attendants might have like a lot going on, but like I would rather wait 15 more minutes before boarding and having these like and having freaking a wipe down with like wipe down these seats for people. You can't do this. It's gross. Okay. So he doesn't shower. He just gets in bed. And she just starts to pretend that she's asleep, honey. She like knows her thing. She's like, I don't even want to talk to you. I'm very tired. He's talking all the time. He's just like talking. I barely speak English. I'm tired. And so like once he goes into the bathroom to like brush a teeth, I don't know, brush a tooth, she's just like, sleep. She's faking. She's also doing that thing where like, like how I would sleep and like I feel like, like I have this thing where if I'm like sleeping with the first time in front of a dude, I can't help myself and Juan makes fun of my that I like will pose in such a way. Not that she knows what I look like when I sleep with a dude for the first time, but like I pose in life all the time. So it's like, that I'm just like, oh, like I sleep like this. And like in real life, I'm just like, okay. So he comes out, he's like, Rosemary, do you want to watch TV? And she's like, and he's like, oh, I guess not. Okay. And then he's like, good night, my queen. And she references the fact that he did that the morning after, which is how you know that she was awake. She didn't say anything. She's like, sleeping in his like San Diego shirt. Okay. They wake up the next morning and they decide he like orders breakfast, which I was like, what did you order? It seemed like he ordered like a bowl of cereal, like a bowl of like Special K and like some toast. You know what? In a billion years, and all the times I've ordered room service breakfast, I guess I have ordered like granola and berries before, but like never ordered just like cereal and milk. You're like an adult. Like if you're like craving sweets, get something yummy, like or at least just get like some sausages and bacon. Like what's not and maybe like there was nothing on the menu that like spoke to him, but it seemed like international hotel. Like they should have a lot of options. But yeah, she's just like and like I also wanted low key for her to like experience some of this like comfort, because she just like hasn't. Everyone's saying he woke up in different shorts, which means like what happened in the middle of the night with those shorts? Oh, I don't want to know. Um, so they go into the town bazaar to go a shopping. And this is where some drama comes up. So he's like, I want to buy her some pajamas, and she has no pajamas. And so they go a shopping immediately when she asks for like to pay the person. Like, it's not like she waits there demurely and then he pays. It's sort of like, give me your wallet, and then he's like, I'm mad that she's asking for my wallet, but he's giving it to her. He's letting her thumb through the money. And it's like pesos. It's like a number in pesos, right? And I feel like it's not that hard to figure out how much it is. Like you have whatever bills you have, you're seeing the number 2 or 200 or whatever, like on the thing. It isn't like, what is it? And so it's like, if you don't want her to ask for your wallet or to go through your wallet, don't open it and let her do it. Like be a man and then being like, I want to buy this for you. And the person's like 200, whatever, 180 pesos, this is a little weird. So he says 180 pesos. And then he's like, oh, I don't want her to go through my wallet, but letting her go through it. And then she takes up the money. And then she's like, keep the change. And he's like, keep the change. And she's like, it's only 10 pesos, which would be 20. But like roughly all of this is nothing. It was like no money. Just like, yeah, like it makes me feel like, is he really cheap? Does he not know how poor she is? Does he not know how poor all of these people are? Like the fact that he's just like trotting down with like a wallet full of money, like it's really, really fucked up. Because like he's not being masculine or like secure enough to just handle his own money. And he's also being so wimpy about like giving someone like 10 cents extra. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so that's one thing. And then she's like, I want to buy you a shirt with your money, which is like some flower shirt that you would get like what looked like Hawaii or whatever. Like this, and I think that she wanted to buy him that shirt in that moment to be like, and can you change out of your like sweaty ass shirt because he is sweating, which goes back to them sleeping together. Like he slept with the air conditioning on like the whole time, and she's like, I'm cold, like she has like not any body weight to her, and he has like all the body weight to him. So he is like sweating like disgustingly, like it's like he looked like he like has been running at the gym. And she's just like, this is how it is here. It's not a big deal. This is like normal, And he's like, I need to go home. I want to go home. I need to go home. I want to leave. I gotta leave. Like it's making me feel like he has some anxiety issues. He has like some OCD issues. Like he's not, I think, mentally a well man. I mean, I'm happy that she has some brand new pink silk-ish, satinish PJs or whatever. Like, why'd you give it to him? Remember when Zaya had to like use her money to like buy a ring or whatever, and then she was like so pissed about it, but she gave it to him. Don't be pissed about something that you like facilitated. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he wants to leave because he's sweating like a whore in church, honey, and they leave. And I'm just like, I cannot wait for him to see what her apartment looks like and for him to meet that sister. Another part is that the sister and her, before they meet up with Ed, go to like visit their dad, and they bring him like what looks like a mini Dixie cup of frozen yogurt. I mean, it's the smallest thing I've ever seen. Oh, hello, JJ. Nice to see you. Thank you. Greetings from Holland. I hope you're all good there. You know, I love my my little stroop waffles. Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, it was like a sample of ice cream. I just couldn't, it was like the smallest amount. I'm like, do you have to pay for that, or do you guys just get? I'm hoping there were free samples. I mean, it was just like, boop, done. Um, but it did look yummy. I wanted it in a colorful cup like that. It looked good. So, but yeah, I'm just like, what? I cannot wait for him to meet that dad. I can't wait for him to see like how they live. I can't wait for the sister to ask him for money, like what it's going to be like. And if he doesn't give those people money, then he's disgusting. And I'll tell you why. You have it. And if you were going to go there and see all those kids and those women living in that and don't feel like empathetic enough to give them a little money, then you don't deserve anything. Even if he's like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't. I think that we're not compatible and all that stuff. He still should be like, but here's some money. You need it. Just right? You can't be like that and non-empathetic. I mean, I'd give them money. I want to give them money. And I'm not even trying to like have sex with either one of them. Even if they took STD tests. I don't want to have sex with either one of them. You know what I'm saying? But also, I am excited to see how this STD thing plays out. I always wondered, like, is he going to frame STD tests like, I want us both to get STD tests and make sure that we're on the same page, and I'll share my results with you, and then you share your results with me. I wonder if, like, it's a little off-putting when he's like, I want you to get one. It's like, where's yours then? I mean, we all know that he's been not, no one's touched him for years. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he can also frame that conversation to be like, we're doing this together in this sort of way. Okay, moving on. Like on couple 3 and we're like 47 minutes in. This is gonna be like another 2-hour video. Hi guys. Okay. So let's go to Jeffrey and Varya. Varya, by the way, famous name from Chekhov plays. Makes me really happy. Cherry Orchard. Okay. Now, Jeffrey is from Tennessee, and he has crystal blue eyes, and he is like a wife beater. His domestic violence issues. I did not know this when I first started talking about him, and I was like, he's attractive. And now I want to eat my words. It's fine. So Varya is like someone that works in the news or entertainment world of Russia. Okay, so again, Jeffrey has 2 grown-ass sons and 1 baby, and then one of his other like brand new babies like passed away or whatever. It was really sad. But he also is like a cheating domestic violence person, so he's whatever. And even though he has all that going on, one of his ex-girlfriends that like he had dinner with before he left was like, I don't know why you have to go all the way over there to find a woman when women are right in front of you, one in front of your nose, waiting for you to ask him out. Me, you know. So he has some sort of like fan base. So now we see him, he's one of the first people to get to his beloved. So he gets to Russia, and Varya's there, and she gets him, and we get some things. First of all, Varya's friends are like suspect, which is different how like we've seen other women from the Eastern European being like, yes, you got one. Remember Maria's friends? But her friends are like suspect, and they meet or whatever, and it's like awkward AF, you know, like she's like, why are you hugging me like a dad? Because he kind of like side hugs her, and it's just awkward. It's just like uncomfortable and awkward, and they don't know how to talk in front. Things are stilted between the conversations, so a lot of like looking down, looking awkward. And they both feel it. They both talk about it. You know, like I think that she sort of thought that he was going to be like loud and passionate and like, you know, like wanting to like hold her and stuff like that. And he seems almost like somewhat demure in her presence. It's really weird. And somewhere in between him landing and the rest of these two episodes, he gets bitten on his eye by like some sort of insect because like his like right eye just starts to like swell up. Which one time happened to me in Mexico and it was the worst thing ever. I one time was in Mexico with my friend Michelle on her like birthday, and then I woke up one morning and something had bit my eye, and I was like, people were like, people like woke up in the morning and were like, Chris, everything's okay, but before we look in the mirror, I want to tell you. I was just like, what? You know. Anyway, um, so it's awkward, and they talk about the fact that it's awkward. They like, and another whole thing is that Jeffrey is also like upset that Varia is like wants to listen to her friend's advice, which is to like not stay with him the first night or any of the nights, which I also respect. I'm just like, yeah, maybe you don't want to like sleep over the first night you were just meeting. And by the way, I like the fact that she gave herself that cushion because she could change her mind if she wanted, but because it was so awkward, like who'd want to be like, great, oh, everyone is like just coming out of the gutter. Um, he's just like, why don't you want to stay with me the night when it's like you guys can barely like put a sentence together right now? Like maybe you should like have some time to like warm it up, you know, warm up that kettle before you make the tea. So that was a really good metaphor I just made, and that was off the top of my head, you guys. Um, so okay, so then they actually discussed the fact that it's been awkward, and they were kind of like openly discussing it. She's like, "Don't hug me like a dad does," and he's like, oh, "Okay, like I thought you were just being cold, like what I've heard it, you know." And so I'm doing the Lord's work right now. So um, they then after their awkward day were like, you know, she takes him to go eat, and he's like, she's like, eat some of our like cuisine, and he's like, okay, if I like it. And then she's like, okay, let's see, what would you like? Oh, how about a a fish tower with herring being one of the layers. It's like 7-layer dip. It's like 7-layer dip if 7-layer dip was a tiramisu tower and one of the base levels was herring. One of the levels is like egg. There's like one of the levels is beet. I mean, it's beautiful. What actually is served to him looks beautiful. Would I eat it? Mm-mm. I don't like fish, first of all. I don't like fish at all. So now I'm just like, if it was chicken in that, would I eat it? I would still be like, does it have to be this? Can't those things just be on the plate? It was like, it looked like a cake, but all of the cake layers were like salty and or pickled things. I just like can't even when I saw that. And she was like, so like, here it is. And he's like, but he takes a bite, and you know, his face is like, he's no actor, you know, which is fine. So they start to warm up to each other a little bit, and then they have this day where they like she takes him around the red square. Oh my god, do I wish I was there. Oh my god, the most beautiful buildings. That church, I've always wanted to see that church. It's bananas. And she like calls something the Big Ben, but it's like something else, and like a big ass tower clock. But oh my god, it looks so gorgeous. I've always wanted to go to Moscow. It's just like out of control how crazy and beautiful it looks. Like the culture, just like the architecture. Oh my god, the colors. Can you believe it? Are you just like, oh, I want to go there so bad. It's otherworldly, you know, like, which now I realize I am going to go there sometime in my life. I'm going to really have to research restaurants to go to, you know? Okay. So then things start to like look up, like they're taking pictures together. They're like having like cute times together, you know, like they're like warming up. It's like into it. It's like they're finally warming up, and then he like puts pressure on her to like sleep with him. I'm a little bit like low key, like just take no as a no for a second. But like they're back in the car on the way after their date. He's like, come back with me, come in my room, and she's like, okay. So she comes out of the cab and they like do it, in his hotel room, and they wake up the next morning and everything seems cool. And then now we're gonna go to her condo, apartment home, townhome, or apartment that she owns in her town, and she's really excited because she wants to like introduce him to her friends, even though that she's like low key like, and my friends hate you. They're gonna test you. They don't want you to be with me, so can't wait for you to meet him. And she takes him into her apartment, and it's like not done. Okay, it's like a beautiful apartment. Like you can tell, like it's like she has like money, like like there's like really beautiful like tiles and things. There's like a beautiful brand new bathtub with like new fixtures, but like it's like half done. Like it's like there's exposed wires, and there's like, as he says, like in a horror movie, like a just light hanging from a string, and there's no sink, not a sink. She's like, just use the shower. There's no bed. Just just like a futon couch thing. I'm not quite sure. And it's funny because it's like we're used to like going to see the fiance's stuff and having it not be in tip top condition, but it's like it just is like it's like a house in the middle being flipped that she's living in. And he's like, why is it like this? Like, what's happening? And she's like, oh, when I started talking to you, I just stopped doing things. I'm not going to waste my money. I'm going to come live with you. And he like flips out. Like this, like if this to him means that like the minute she started, this is in his mind, it's like the minute she started talking to him, she already made designs that she was going to come move to America. And she doesn't get it because she's like, yeah, obviously you're not going to come move here. You have kids. I was going to move to America with you, like that's why this is happening. Like, that's why I didn't finish it. And then he's like, so you have just this whole time thought that you were going to move to America immediately upon talking to me, like that I was your opportunity. And she's like, yes. Okay, we can look at this both ways. First of all, if you own the place, would you not want it to still be? I know you're okay. So she's like, I don't want to waste money to fix it up if I'm just going to sell it anyway. But also the art of flipping is that you put some money into it and then you can sell it for more money because it's a done apartment. Like now you're going to have to sell it for whatever you can because there's not a fucking sink. That's somewhat interesting. And also because you don't know how long it's going to take you and him to like seal the deal. Maybe she's just really planning on him like proposing to her during this visit. Like, do you want to live with no sink? I mean, like, I know that if I lived like that, every time I come home, it would give me anxiety. Like, oh my God, everything is not done and exposed. I would need to like have some semblance of like a working apartment just so I can like live my life, like I just wonder about that. Like she seems so put together and stuff for her to like live in disarray. Anyway, but we all have choices we make. So it sort of ends on this awkward conversation about like whether she's using him or not to get to America. And we're going to like dive back into that conversation more in the future. But I'm surprised that she also had no qualms about taking him to her apartment. She wasn't like, I'm afraid what's going to happen when he sees like, he's not going to probably enjoy staying there because I have no sink, or like, she's just like, this seems good. Okay. So let's move on, and we're going to move on to Avery and Ash. Okay. So Avery, you might remember as like marijuana mom, canna mom, who like likes to make salads by just like putting a bunch of like raw cruciferous vegetables in and then like not massaging her kale with any sort of breaking down lemon juice or olive oil. So like it's gonna be like the crunchiest, hardest salad to eat ever. And Ash, who is a dating coach from Australia. Okay, so now Avery is traveling, going to Ash in Australia, and she lands, and we get a lot of Ash's life now. Ash, again, has the son, Taj, I think his name, from the wife, Sam, who, by the way, we see a picture of Sam, and it looks just like Avery. Like he loves a white woman with brown hair, has a type. And and we get like a lot of confessionals with him and a lot about his like dating coach life. We realize that like yeah, like we see him interact with one of his dating coach clients and immediately like it seems very flirty. He's like, "How are you doing?" And she's like, and this is on like live chat. She's like, she like can't stop laughing about him. Like all these women are paying him to flirt with them. It's a crazy lucrative job for him. It's bananas. Also, he like goes to buy flowers and we realize and like even the flower guys, like he's like one of our best customers. He like buys flowers all the time for like many different women. I don't know how he does it. Everything is suspect. Even his confessionals about like he'll say something, I can't remember like, but he'll say something like, "Oh, it makes me happy when women want me," or something like this. He doesn't say that, but he says things that you realize. I'm like, oh, you're a narcissist sociopath. You get off on like feeling wanted and validated by a woman's affection. You manipulate them to get so. I'm like, do you know that you're doing it? Do you not know that you're doing it? I need a fucking conversation with CM. That's what we need. We need CM on this. CM would tell us the deal. It's also interesting that he lives with his brother, right, and his son, when his son is with him. And the brother, upon knowing that Avery is going to like stay with them, is like, no, you get out and get an Airbnb. I don't want her here. Is that because he like can't watch his brother manipulate another woman? It's awkward for him, or there's been so many women. It's what is it? Yeah, Ash just looks like with those like eyes. It feels like he is just like he gets off on women's affection and or like the ability to manipulate women or like women's like validation of him. He loves when women want to sleep with him and like that is like what it is. I mean, when I saw that like coaching chat with that female who just kept like giggling at him, just paying to Skype with him and giggle at him. And he just like gives her compliments. Well, I know, like, it's just there's a lot of lonely people in this world. There's a lot of fucked up people that will take advantage of them. Oh God. So um he picks up Avery from the airport and like she's nervous to see him and she they are, touchy McFeely's and he brings her to the Airbnb. And this is where I'm actually really happy because this whole time Ash is just like, she's putty in my hand as everyone is, like if you have a vagina, like I control you. Not really, but like that's what I feel like he feels. And he just thinks that she's gonna like jump into bed with him. And then like Avery makes the one smart move she ever does where he's like, here's our bedroom, and here's some presents I got you. And she's like, oh no, that's my bedroom. You said it was 2-bedroom, right? And the other bedroom is like 2 like Hansel and Gretel beds. Like half a twin. I don't even know. She's like, that's where you're sleeping. And maybe you can graduate to this room, and I'm just like, oh, good. Thank God. Thank God there's a boundary. And so then he's like, okay. Because he can't say anything. He's on TV. He. And he can't like pressure someone to have sex when he's a dating coach on TV. He's like smart enough to know that. Ha ha ha. So then she's also like low key like weirded out that the brother like won't let her stay there. I'm glad that she picks up on that. Because he could have framed this as like, I wanted time away from my brother, so I got this Airbnb, but he didn't. So that's kind of good too. And then he like brings her the gifts that he got her because now they have to open it out in the public. And so the first gift are these bracelets, right? That's like Avery loves Ash and Ash loves Avery. And he, I guess, had gotten these bracelets before and then like put it on social media. And that was like one of the causes of like their fights, because they've like broken up like 3 times in their 9-month relationship. And it was because she thought like things were moving too fast or something like that. But I feel like what it was that he was so quick. I don't know, like I feel like she picked up on this is like this she didn't say this. I feel like she picked up on his like flaunting their relationship online in a way that felt disingenuous. I just like she knows that he is full of shit. She has said it so many times. She feels like Ash is just saying what she wants to hear, which is true. That's what he does. He tells women what they want to hear, ones that pay him to do so and ones that he actually wants to sleep with. He feels like he prides himself on knowing what women want and what women want to hear. He's very good at it. He's like into how good he is at it. And she like has all the intuition in the world, but like I think that like this is hard because, you know, over the years there's been times when like I've let my guard down for men who like have sort of like sweet talked me or something and then just to like have things not go as well as like I wish they would have had or make me realize that like some things were just not truthful because of like what they wanted, right? Which sucks. And it's just like it's hard to because then you like put up defenses and barriers and then you don't know when you're supposed to take them down. Like when things are real and when things are not because sometimes things in the like moments of lust and like infatuation can feel real. How do you know when things are real and when things aren't? So I feel for Avery. So anyways, they open up these presents and it's those bracelets and she's like, "Oh great, the bracelets that made me break up with you." And then the other thing he bought her were black roses, like gothic black roses. And he's like, "Well, I know you love black." She's like, They are beautiful if they were like not black. They're like beautiful long stem roses, but like it is like sort of like also, do you guys catch this? Like he's like so another thing about Ash is that he like he wakes up every morning and then goes into the water and has like a 20-minute meditation in the water and like aligns himself with the vibrations of the universe. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, that part I was into. But what he also is like, I don't do any drugs, I don't drink wine or smoke weed. I'm like, do you know who Avery is? She's queen. She's marijuana queen, honey. She's Mary Jane, queen of the Mary Janes, honey. So I'm just wondering, like, have they had that conversation about like she loves the weed and he like doesn't? I mean, if you're super into meditation stuff like that, like I would assume it'd be easier to be with a marijuana smoker than like a drinker because of, like marijuana smokers are more like kick back and relaxed and kind of like can be like hippie-esque where like drinkers usually if you're an alcoholic like you toggle in between like rage and like loudness which is not for someone like that. Okay, you know what I just realized I didn't write Yolanda down here. God, there's a lot of people on this. Okay, so we have Lisa and Usman, Darcy and Tom, and Yolanda and Williams. Let's talk about Yolanda and Williams for a second. So Yolanda has like the best voice, like her accent is bananas. And Williams lives in Manchester, and he's like this like muscly Middle Eastern-y looking guy that lives in Manchester. He like is a restaurant manager. And all of her kids are like, he doesn't exist because that picture you're showing us is like, no offense, mom, like not someone I think that would be like super into like, I love you so much, like an older woman, but they don't say it that way. So this whole time she's been like trying to lock him down so that she can get her ticket and go visit him or whatever. And he's like real shady, like not telling her not telling her what airport to go to, and then like doesn't know the name of the airport, and then like will text the name of the airport, and then he won't text back, and suddenly like he won't text back, he won't text her back. She's calling him, he won't text her back. She's calling him, she's texting him, and then she goes into Instagram where they met to like DM him, and she's DMing him, and then suddenly his whole account changes. New name, same bio, none of the followers. Then she calls him and he like obviously picks up and hangs up. Honey, that's not good. Those are not good signs. No. So like for the last 2 episodes, we really haven't seen a lot other than knowing that. Like we don't know anything about this. We definitely haven't seen any confessionals where he talks. All we know is the voice that we've heard from the other side, which is someone who is just uninterested. English is not their first language, and it doesn't feel like he has any sort of English accent, and it doesn't even seem like he lives in an English speaking country, is how I would describe it. Okay, so Yolanda, I really want Yolanda to like feel good about herself because, she like lost a bunch of weight and went on a health journey like me. And, like Dwayne, her husband, like passed away and she's like living her new life and she looks hot as hell and she feels young. She looks young. So I just really want her to like be doing her thing and having fun. And this is not the one for her. And it's also scary to me, like how easily women can be deceived. Okay. So let's move on. So I think I did everyone except for my 2 favorites, which I've been leaving for last. Darcy and Tom and Lisa and Usman. Let's talk about Darcy and Tom. We know Darcy. So this, you guys might come for me. This is the worst Darcy has ever looked this season. She has overdone her lips so much that like during one profile, it's like, I know I'm not saying I love Darcy on the show. Like, I don't want her to not be on the show, but she like has absolutely ruined her face. There's like no coming. There's like everything else was like, oh, she's plastic looking. Of course, she likes to do her lips and like stuff like that. That's fine. Yes, she's overdone, but that's like the look or whatever like that she's going for. And now it looks like, oh no, you guys have done it. And there's been pictures of her and Stacy like that people have posted, like finding them at Marshall's and stuff like that. And I'm surprised because for her being on the show as much as she has, like usually reality stars who have like been on multiple seasons, like they get somewhat better looking each season because of like their makeup choices and stuff like that. Like, like, and that's another thing is like, she's gotten worse looking. It's so crazy. Like, I feel like for all of her like glitz and glam loving, like we own a fashion company, like my cousin does hair, like her hair looks horrible. Her makeup looks the worst. I don't understand on God's green earth with all of her like wanting to look hot that she like hasn't gotten herself eyelash extensions. It's crazy. Like, why don't you get eyelash extensions? This is what your life is. Like you love it. I just like, it's so, her face is so puffy and like distorted with filler and her lips are so bananas. They look like she got punched in the face and her hair is crazy. Nothing makes sense. I can't like stand for her looks now. I'm like, you need to like not do any filler. You need to like get some filler dissolved. You need to like get eyelash extensions. I know you want to have eyelashes on all the time. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but like you, honey, you're on reality television. It's going to shoot for like multiple months. Get eyelash extensions. You can't just be like no eyelashes, sometimes eyelashes. And it's weird because I know that she has like fancy makeup. We've seen her like use Chanel, you know, like I've like talked about watching the B footage of Darcy putting on makeup, which by the way is very different from how Lisa puts on makeup. Lisa puts on frosted eyeshadow with a Q-tip. Okay. And Darcy's like using like Chanel products, but like, why does she, I mean, like nothing makes sense. The way that she like finishes herself, the way that they do their hair is just like, just because, and the reason why it's like I don't want to talk about women's looks. Why I'm talking about it is like it's very obvious that they want to be presented some way and they care about beauty-esque stuff. It's why they are like shooting their face full of shit. And it's just counterintuitive the way that you don't have to be doing that, but you're doing that, and it's like, but you're not doing it right. You're not doing the right things, I guess. Or you don't, but why don't you put time and energy into like making yourself look good in a certain way? Like, why is it like either hard strips of House of Lashes or Lily Lashes or nothing at all? Or no mascara or just like no lip product, you know? It's like, I don't know. It's like this is the worst they've ever looked. I mean, my only thought pattern is that I think that they are both knee deep in the alcohol. I think that like Darcy is drinking every night. And I think that like the drinking is making it hard for her to like have an accurate idea of like how she should present herself. I think that's making her puffy. I think that it's like doing something to her. Okay, so now Stacey is like a full-fledged part of Darcy's life. Like every Darcy, you know, plot line in every Darcy scene's going to have a Stacey. So the way that this is planning out is this. Darcy and Tom were back together, and then he wasn't calling her, right, which was the crux of everything. He's just like not putting the time into like calling her on a basis. And then her birthday comes, and like instead of he like texts her and like that's it or whatever. And then Stacey sends Darcy pictures that Flavin or whatever her Stacey's fiance had gotten from Tom because they're friends. Tom and Stacey's dude. Flavio or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even remember. Tom sent him pictures of like Tom's new woman, which is like some blonde Becky, right? And then of course, Stacey's fiance gives it to Stacey, and Stacey of course gives it to Darcy. So Darcy is now like confronted with this new woman pictures. And then Tom calls Stacey and is like, guess what? I'm going to New York and I'd like to talk to you. And she's like, what, just to break up with me there? No, thanks. You know, like, what are your intentions? You know, he's like, well, I wanted to talk to someone I've had a romantic notion with. She's like, a notion? When you've given me the key, the chapel key, like key to your home or whatever I'm gonna key to your heart, home, heart, who knows? That key doesn't open anything. Honey, that key is fake. So it's very obvious that like this is all staged for the producers, like that he's going to come out here because it's like there is obviously no chance in hell that like they broke up, I think, like last season and they never really got back together. Florian, whatever, God bless. So I'll address what Auntie said. So she's like going back and forth whether that she's going to go visit Tom in New York because like every time she's gone to New York for her dudes, like it has not turned out well. And like none of these dudes want to come to Connecticut. That's another thing. She's like, I get, she should be like, if you're coming to talk to me, then come to me. I live in Connecticut. Like he's doing business in New York? And also like, yeah, come to her place. She came to your place. Well, your Airbnb. So another thing is like Tom has like lost weight, I guess like lost 40 pounds since like being on TV, and she like doesn't like that. So like that's the reason why she knows that like that picture is new because he's like skinny in that picture and he used to be fat. Okay, so Not fat, but bigger for him. Um, so and also like he just loves that like that pose. Like he loves his like hot guy, like 007 pose, which I think is just so funny. So, Stacy and Darcy then go to a spa to talk about it with Stacy's friend, and Stacy's friend's like they're bananas, and they get back together. They have such a weird relationship, and it's like weird by fake. And I mean, it's just a bunch of Stacy and Darcy like looking bananas. And this season, they have these like huge ass. I actually like them, huge ass sunglasses, which I really, really love. But just like are they just like can't help but like do the same things, be the same, try on slutty wedding dresses together. I love them trying on slutty wedding dresses and being like, we're just getting ideas for our clothing line, like by other people's fashions. Oh my god. But they have to get money somehow. If I keep wanting them to get eyelash extensions, they need to make some money to get them. So it's just so interesting. Like, who's this new woman? Like, like I want to see Tom. I hope that they show Tom and this new woman in England. You know, I hope that Tom's sister's there too, and I hope we get a lot of Tom's sister. I love me some Tom's sister. I don't. Yeah. So other than that, she's like Darcy's like going back and forth between like whether to like go visit Tom in New York, and like the friends like you should go do it. Which of course she is because we have to like have scenes. So of course she's gonna go to New York. Oh my god. I also loved Darcy on the treadmill. Could you imagine? I mean, Darcy and Ed together. Can you just imagine? Like, I just want to see them physically together. Darcy is 4'11", right? Or is she shorter? Are Darcy and Ed the same height? Are Darcy and Ed the same height? Oh my god. Could you imagine though? They both don't have like a neck. Are they perfect for each other? What's exciting though is that during the tell-all reunion, we're going to see them together. I hope they take a picture together. I'm so excited. That actually fills me with glee. Um, okay, so and now, but certainly not least, Lisa and Usman, Soja Boy. Okay, so Lisa, who puts on frosted makeup with Q-tips, and loves a high-low dress, lands in Nigeria. And we also see a lot of Usman's life. Usman lives with his like 2 or 3 best buddies in a house, and they all sleep in one bed, except for the one that like gets kicked off the bed to the child's mattress on the floor. And that's totally normal in Nigeria. They say it's like we're just men sleeping together. It's chill. And he lives to make music. Music is really important to him. And his friends are like, "She's old, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." But like, it's fine. It's chill. And they're like already worried about the fact that like she's old. Like they get it. So they all go to pick her up from the airport and like jaws drop, right? Because Lisa, I guess, has presented herself in a different way. This is what I don't get. Okay. Lisa was like, "Oh, he's seen all of me. He's seen my whole body." Yeah, when she gets there, he's kind of like, "It's more belly than I thought. She has more belly than I thought," And it's like, how did you hide the belly? Oh God. Lisa's whole attitude the whole time is just so off-putting and unattractive and jealous and angry and like weird and not funny, and her smoker's voice and everything. Lisa's personality is like, would you rather take a Lisa or Angela? And I'll tell you, Angela definitely screams and is like so horrible, but at least Angela could also be fun. Lisa is just not fun none of the time. So all of his friends are like, "Oh my God," when they see her, right? And she's like, "Oh, friends are here, fun," but she's also obsessed with the way Usman looks, which, I get it. And Usman's like taking it in, like, what did I do? She's doesn't have I was hoping that she'd be like D, and she's more like whatever. But it's all about her heart and her spirit, which is beautiful, and it's like, is it? Okay, God bless. And so then the best part is they get her, like, she's just sat in the car, and they, like, all of her friends are like closing, putting the trunks stuff in the luggage in the trunk and about to close her, like, quickly, what do you think? And he's like, it's good. I think it's good, and they're like, no, it's not. And she's like in the back there, and she's just like already talking like about balls and things. And it's just so interesting to me that like none of these women go to like none of these people go to like the countries with like any sort of decorum of like, oh, maybe things are different here and I should be a little respectful or reserved of just my personality, or like not saying things that could be construed as like aggressively crude or anything. Like none of that ever happens. Like when Ed is in the Philippines, like he doesn't understand Filipino culture at all, like says Billa beans to her all the time, and like doesn't understand how hot it's going to be, or doesn't understand like what the weather's like. He didn't check Surrey, nothing. And she's just like, like in this car, just making out with Usman while these like two other dudes are in the front seat. Like nothing like we should be civil. I don't know, these men were just gonna like make out with their friend in the back seat, just like, and they had to just this whole car ride here, like, can you hear this? I hope you guys can hear how we're discussing this sounds. I remember I remember there was like times in my like early 20s because of like college or life where I had to hear, I just like rubbed off on my pretty lipstick or my lip gloss. Whatever. We all know those times in which we were young and we were like privy to having to hear our friends make out. And I remember, God, where was I? This one time I was sleeping in a bunks and these people were making out like in the same room as me. And I just kept fake snoring to like try and make them stop, but it didn't make them stop. And I had to hear what I just heard all night long. I hated it. It's disgusting. Now I listen to brown noise. I don't know if you guys like white noise, but I listen to brown noise every night to just drown everything out. I'm like a baby. I need to like just hear like an air conditioner like sound. Oh, though, God bless. So anyway, they're like, she has no care that she's doing this to these guys. These guys are disgusted, like Usman also isn't like, baby, can we hold on? Like he's doing it too. God bless. There's also this thing where like, remember how like, oh, what's his face? Oh, anyway, like there's a thing where like men like to like give a percentage of how hot these women are to him. It's like Usman's like, she's 70% of what I thought she was going to be. Okay. So then, they get to the hotel and the dudes drop them off. And then it's like, they're going to bone and they're going to bone condomless. That's what we've been waiting for, is them raw dogging. And so barebacking, if you will. And they do. And they wake up. And it's not fun for us, the viewers. Or is it fun? I don't know. You guys tell me. And we also find out this tidbit of information, which was that, and if you're Nigerian, I would love your thoughts, is that Nigerian sex culture isn't like super big on the oral sex. So Lisa had to also introduce that to him. I don't know if that means like fellatio or cunnilingus or both. That's an interesting topic we can discuss, which one or both. She's just like, how did it feel to like bareback bone me? And he's like, good. Lisa has no shame. I mean, none. I mean, none of it. I mean, I feel like Angela has more shame than that. In like in Arabic, we would say, I be shoom. I be shoom. Like, which was something that like my grandmother would say to me because I would like run around when I was little and just like show people my tummy. I'd be like, hee hee hee. like, and she'd be like, I be shoom, which I now means like, have some shame, woman. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is a different I be shoom. So, is just like controlling, very masculine, very aggressive, very crude, very horny. She like really doesn't want anyone to be around them. She really doesn't want him to be on his phone. Like she gets upset anytime he gets a phone call. And he is just like, I knew that she was controlling, but she's way more controlling over here. Like, I think Usman's gonna have to kick her to the curb. Like, I don't think this is a Michelangelo situation where you're like, Michael, what's gonna happen? Like, Michael is stands for Angela. Like, she can do no wrong. Like Usman, I do not think that he's gonna be able to like handle this. But thank God that 90 Day Fiance knows how important it is to have like Nigerian man's friends around. So they go to breakfast, and then this conversation happens where the friends are like, "What's your mom gonna think of this?" And Lisa's like, "Well, we don't care, right?" Usman said that we don't care about what his mom thinks, and the guys are like, "No, he cares." And she's like, "No, he said he doesn't. We don't have to get her blessing." And then like Usman's put on the spot, and he doesn't. He's just like, "Well, no, it matters. We're gonna massage this." He didn't say this, but it's like we're gonna massage the situation and hope it works out. And Lisa's pissed because she just thought that she was gonna like get married to him there and then bring back this hot guy to like raw dog her in America. My God, it's just not. This is like, I mean, yeah, I don't like. I mean, Lisa is no Angela. Like, and I'm kind of glad they're different, I guess, because like there's already extenuating circumstances that makes them somewhat similar. But like, give me Angela all day long. Like, Lisa is like, I wouldn't want to have like any time with Lisa. Like Angela, I'm not saying I want to have time with her, but I want to be like a fly on the wall, like watching her like at a dinner party. And Lisa's personality is so grating that I'm just like, ugh, not there's like no redeeming qualities to it. Dad, do you want to come say hi? Dad, come say hi. I want my dad to come in and say hi to you guys. Um, because I'm gonna end this soon, and then I'm going to. Okay, so that's what I have to say about her. We're going to see what happens. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's going to work out. By the way, I'm also almost done with Love is Blind on Netflix, which I've loved. The first 3 episodes are really hard to watch of Love is Blind, but then once you get into it, it's like you can't stop. Um, are you staying at your dad's during quarantine? I am. And cooking and spending time with them, and it's good. He is like not into it. Wait 1 second. Should I go out and try and get him? I also want to talk to you guys a little bit. So this is the end of me talking about the show. I think I've talked about the show enough, and then I'm going to watch next episode and talk. I really want to do I'm going to do a live about Love is Blind. It's really interesting to me. And I also want to do lives. I still have watched. I feel like I want to do lives about all the other stuff I've watched, like Cheer and even though that's kind of old news. But if you haven't watched Cheer, my eardrums. Ugh, wait 1 second. I know I screamed. Wait 1 second. Just chill for a second. Let me see if I can get my dad. Dad? Can you come up for a second? Come be in my life for a second, okay? Come up into my room and be in my life for a second. Success! Success! So let's talk it. Yeah, we have to do Love is. Come on, quickly, just say hi. You can be. He says he doesn't want to come out because he's shirtless. Everyone wants to say hi to you. No, I'm bare chested. And I took my clothes off. He says he's bare chested and he doesn't want to come out. Okay. Yeah, Love is Blind is everything. So I'm staying with my dad. We're just like chilling. My dad is like of the age of a senior and has a compromised immune system. So I'm happy to be here because I want to go out and be the person that like goes, gets things for him if he needs things and making dinner and just like keeping him inside because he's a little bit of a like, let a man prepare. I know. I support his choice to be shirtless and stand his ground. I know. I'm just kind of like, get a robe on, but like he doesn't want to do it, I guess. I think he's eating lunch. Tell him not to be shy. He doesn't have a shirt on. It's okay. I understand. Ugh, he won't do it. I can tell. I don't want to like just keep screaming on on this live for you guys. I'm sure it's really, really intense. Um, so anyway, yeah, I'll do a Love Is Blind review, and I'll do a Cheer review. I have to almost rewatch a little bit of Cheer and know everything. You guys all watched Cheer too, right? It was really great. All right. I love you all so much. I hope you're, like we said, taking care of yourselves and stuff. How old is he? 69. He's 6'9". So, you know. Yeah, watch both shows. Yeah, I'm like on literally the last episode. I'm on the wedding episode of Love Is Blind, and then I have the tell all to watch. I'm so excited. I really appreciate you guys for being here. I love you all so much. I will do more lives. I'm gonna hopefully do one like every day. Maybe I'll just like come on and talk, even if I don't have like things to say. But I'll be done with Love Is Blind by today. So you know how it is. I'm also putting up content on my Instagram, which is Chris L. Farah. The L is for lockdown. I'm sorry. And Vanity Fair, which is my Facebook group. And I've even been tweeting Chris L. Farah. So those are all happening. Also, if you haven't yet, the character I do is called Fancy the Show. She's my bio queen character. It's a completely different thing than me sitting here talking about television. It's like character I do. She is like, she does like love and sex advice in a cheeky, very campy way. It's like a character cabaret I do. She's really fun. For Women's History Month, she's like highlighting different sexually liberated women throughout the years. She needs more recommendations. I've done like Josephine Baker and Sarah Bernhardt and Angeline and different ones. So that's called Fancy the Show. You can follow her on Facebook, Fancy the Show, or Twitter and Instagram, Fancy the Show. I'm Chris L. Farah on all of the sites as well. And my Facebook group is Vanity Farah. So there's so much you can do to talk to me and keep in touch with me. I'm not good at DMs on Instagram. I don't like it. But I always talk to people on Vanity Farah. Tell me what I should watch. Tell me what you're watching. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here and talking to me and putting up with me like having to deal. If you were watching this, putting up with me having to deal with like people coming in the chat room and going crazy. Connect with everyone though. I hope you're FaceTiming people that you love and checking in, okay? All right, baby boos. Take care of yourselves. Stand up for what you believe and make art. I love you. Bye. Thank you for my super chats.